I, 26F, have been dating Aaron, 27M, for 2 years now. We met through mutual friends at a housewarming party. I wasn't looking for a relationship at the time because I was still recovering from a terrible breakup 6 months earlier. My ex of 3 years had cheated on me with multiple women, including my close friend, which left me with severe trust issues. Aaron was different from anyone I'd ever dated. He was kind, attentive, and understood my trust issues without making me feel crazy about them. He worked as a software developer and I'm a marketing manager. We bonded over our love for true crime documentaries and cooking together. After our third date, I knew this was something special. 3 weeks into dating, Aaron told me about his ex Sophie, 27F. They had dated for 4 years through college and broke up 2 years ago. He explained that Sophie struggled with anxiety and depression, and occasionally reached out to him for support. He showed me their iMessage conversations which seemed innocent, just checking up on her mental health every few weeks. I was uncomfortable with this because of my past experiences, but I appreciated his honesty. He showed me their messages without me asking and always told me when she reached out. The messages I saw were very formal and straight to the point, usually just Sophie saying she was having a rough time and Aaron offering basic support and suggesting she seek professional help. My best friend Dorothy, 26F, warned me to be careful. She thought it was weird that Aaron was still so involved with his ex's mental health when Sophie was married to someone else. But Aaron was so open about everything that I felt I could trust him. He never hid his phone, always answered calls in front of me, and made me feel secure in our relationship. Things moved quickly between us. Within 6 months, we were spending every weekend together. He introduced me to his family, and his mother Linda, 55F, practically adopted me. She told me how happy she was that Aaron had found someone stable after his dramatic relationship with Sophie. This was the first hint that there might be more to their past than Aaron had told me. I started noticing small things that bothered me. Sometimes when we were in bed, his phone would buzz late at night and he'd quickly reply to messages. When I asked who it was, he'd say it was work or his gaming friends. I wanted to believe him, but something felt off. There were times he'd be completely engrossed in his phone, smiling at something, but would put it away quickly if I came near. My sister Rachel, 29F, told me I was being paranoid and projecting my past relationship trauma onto Aaron. She reminded me how Aaron had helped me through my anxiety attacks and was always there when I needed him. He'd even taken time off work to care for me when I got food poisoning early in our relationship. 6 months into dating, I finally gathered the courage to tell Aaron that his relationship with Sophie made me uncomfortable. I explained that while I understood wanting to support someone going through mental health issues, it wasn't his responsibility anymore, especially since she was married. To my relief, he immediately agreed. He showed me as he sent Sophie a final message explaining that he needed to step back and focus on our relationship. The next year was incredible. We moved in together 6 months ago, adopted a dog named Max, and started talking about marriage. Aaron would leave me little notes around the apartment with reasons why he loved me. He planned surprise dates and got along great with my family. Everyone commented on how perfect we were together. Last week, everything fell apart. I was using Aaron's iPad to watch Netflix while he was at work. He had told me his Netflix wasn't working on his iPad and asked me to try logging in with my account. When I opened Safari to go to Netflix, I noticed he was logged into Instagram. A notification popped up from a username I didn't recognize. My heart started racing as I opened the message. It was a separate Instagram account that Aaron had never mentioned. What I found shattered my entire world. There were daily conversations between him and Sophie going back to the beginning of our relationship. They shared every detail of their lives, what they ate, what they watched, funny things that happened at work. He sent her pictures of places we visited together but never mentioned I was there. The conversations were full of inside jokes and references to their past. They had cute nicknames for each other and would talk for hours about the most mundane things. Sophie would tell him how much she missed their late-night talks, and he would reply that she was still his favorite person to share things with. While there wasn't anything explicitly romantic, it was clearly an emotional affair. What hurt the most was seeing messages from days when I had specifically asked Aaron if he was still talking to Sophie. Days when he looked me in the eyes and swore they barely spoke anymore. All those times he was texting late at night, it was her. All those times he smiled at his phone, it was her messages. When I confronted Aaron, he broke down completely. He admitted that Sophie had threatened self-harm when he tried to distance himself early in our relationship. He claimed he felt trapped, he didn't want to be responsible if something happened to her, but he also didn't want to lose me. He said he tried to slowly withdraw from the relationship while making sure she was stable. According to Aaron, when I put my foot down at 6 months, He realized how wrong the situation was and finally cut contact completely. He swears there hasn't been any communication since then, and he's been fully committed to our relationship. He keeps saying the past year of complete honesty should count for something. My family is divided on this. Rachel thinks I should forgive him since he did eventually choose me and has been a perfect boyfriend since then. Dorothy thinks I'm crazy for even considering staying with someone who could lie so easily for so long. My mom says relationships require forgiveness, but my dad thinks once a liar, always a liar. I'm completely lost. If I had discovered this in the beginning, I would have ended things immediately. But now we've built a life together. We have an apartment, a dog, shared friends, and plans for the future. He's been the perfect boyfriend in every way except for this massive betrayal. The thought of leaving terrifies me, but the thought of staying with someone who could lie to my face for months is equally terrifying. I keep wondering what else he might be hiding. Every time he picks up his phone now, I feel sick to my stomach. How do you rebuild trust after something like this? Can a relationship survive this kind of betrayal? I would really appreciate any advice. Update 1 first, I want to thank everyone who commented on my original post. Your support and advice really helped me during these difficult 2 weeks. After reading all your comments, I knew I needed to get the full truth before making any decisions about my future with Aaron. Last Saturday, I sat Aaron down and told him I needed complete honesty about his relationship with Sophie, no matter how bad it was. I made it clear this was his only chance. If I discovered anything else later, we would be done for good. He seemed nervous but agreed to tell me everything. What he revealed was so much worse than I imagined. Not only had they been talking on Instagram, but they had an entire secret communication system set up. They shared an email account where they would save drafts to each other like a journal, writing long messages about their feelings and daily lives. They had a private Twitter account where they would tweet about their days using code names. He was Night and she was Storm, apparently references to how they met during a thunderstorm. Aaron admitted that Sophie would often talk about her unhappiness in her marriage. She would tell him how her husband Tom didn't understand her like Aaron did, how she felt trapped, and how she sometimes wondered if she had made a mistake leaving Aaron. Instead of shutting these conversations down or telling Tom, Aaron would comfort her and tell her things would get better. He says he never encouraged her feelings, but looking at the messages, his responses were always vague enough to keep her hoping. The worst revelation came when he admitted they had met up in person twice during our first year together. The first time was 3 months into our relationship, when he told me he was working late on a project. They met at a coffee shop and talked for hours. The second time was 2 months later, when he said he was meeting his college friends for drinks. They met at a park and walked around for hours talking about their relationship and why it ended. Aaron swears nothing physical happened during these meetings, but at this point, I don't know what to believe. He says he knew it was wrong but kept justifying it to himself because they weren't doing anything technically wrong. He said Sophie was his first love and he didn't know how to completely let go. I was ready to pack my bags right then, but what happened next made everything even more complicated. While Aaron and I were having this conversation, my phone started buzzing with messages from an unknown number. It was Sophie's husband Tom. Apparently, he had recently discovered everything too and wanted to meet to compare notes. I met Tom at a coffee shop yesterday. My sister Rachel came with me for support because I was nervous about meeting a stranger. Tom turned out to be a kind, soft-spoken man who works as a high school teacher. He looked absolutely broken as he showed me screenshots from Sophie's phone that he had discovered. The messages went back to even before Aaron and I started dating. Sophie had explicitly told Aaron multiple times that she still loved him and regretted marrying Tom. She talked about leaving Tom and starting fresh with Aaron. While Aaron never outright encouraged these thoughts, he never firmly shut them down either. He would say things like life is complicated and we can't always control our feelings. Tom broke down crying in the coffee shop. He told me Sophie had been distant for months, always on her phone and pulling away from him. He had attributed it to her depression and tried to be supportive. Finding out she had been emotionally cheating with her ex the whole time destroyed him. He's filing for divorce. When I got home, Aaron was waiting in our apartment. He had cooked my favorite meal and bought flowers, trying to apologize again. But seeing those messages from Tom's perspective changed everything. I realized Aaron wasn't just betraying me, he was actively participating in destroying someone else's marriage. Aaron keeps calling and texting, swearing he'll do anything to fix this. He's offered to give me all his passwords, delete his social media, even move to a different city away from Sophie. He says he was young and stupid and didn't know how to handle the situation. He claims finding out Tom discovered everything made him realize how many people he hurt with his actions. My mom thinks I should give him another chance since he's genuinely remorseful. Dorothy says I'd be crazy to trust him again. Rachel is torn. She thinks Aaron is a good person who made a terrible mistake, but she's not sure the relationship can recover from this level of deception. I'm staying at Dorothy's apartment for now because I can't bear to look at Aaron. Every time I think about those months of lies, I feel physically sick. He sat across from me at dinner every night, holding my hand and telling me he loved me, while maintaining this whole secret emotional relationship with his ex. The hardest part is that I still love him. When I think about our life together, our dog Max who keeps waiting by the door for me to come home, the plans we made for the future, all the little moments we shared, it breaks my heart. But how can I ever trust him again? Every time he says I love you now, I wonder if he's saying the same things to Sophie in their secret accounts. I would really appreciate advice from anyone who has been through something similar. Can a relationship survive this kind of betrayal? Should I even try? Right now, I feel lost and confused about everything. Update 2: The situation has gotten so much worse since my last update. After Tom filed for divorce, Sophie completely lost it. She started calling Aaron from different numbers at all hours. When he wouldn't answer, she created new social media accounts to message him. Last week, she started showing up at our apartment building, sitting in her car for hours. Our building security had to escort her out twice. She left notes under our door begging Aaron to talk to her. The final straw was when she showed up at his workplace, causing such a scene that his manager had to call security. Aaron finally agreed to meet her one last time to tell her to stop this behavior. I insisted on being present for this meeting. We met at a public coffee shop, with Dorothy waiting in her car outside in case things got out of hand. Sophie looked nothing like the confident woman I had seen in their old photos. She was disheveled, with dark circles under her eyes, wearing what looked like pajamas under a coat. The meeting was a disaster. Sophie spent the first 20 minutes crying and accusing me of stealing Aaron from her. She kept saying they were meant to be together and I was just an obstacle in their love story. When I pointed out that she was married when she was pursuing Aaron, she laughed hysterically and dropped a bombshell. Those coffee meetings Aaron claimed were innocent? They had kissed multiple times. The first time, according to Sophie, Aaron initiated it. She pulled out her phone and showed us pictures from their meetings, Aaron holding her hand across the table, them sitting close together on a park bench. While the pictures weren't explicitly romantic, they certainly didn't look like two people maintaining appropriate boundaries. But the worst revelation came when Sophie showed us messages from right before Aaron and I started dating. They weren't just casually talking, they were actively planning to get back together. Aaron had told her he wanted to try again and they had even looked at apartments together. Then he met me at that housewarming party and suddenly stopped responding to her messages for a week. When he finally replied, he told her he had met someone else but wasn't sure where it was going. Sophie said they should continue their plans anyway, and Aaron kept stringing her along, saying he needed time to figure things out. This continued for the first few months of our relationship. I felt like I was going to throw up. All this time, I thought I had met this amazing, single guy who fell for me immediately. In reality, I was the other woman who derailed their reconciliation. No wonder Sophie hated me so much. The final blow came when Sophie revealed that Aaron had been helping her set up dating profiles while she was still married to Tom. He had edited her photos, helped write her bio, and even gave her advice about which guys to respond to. When I asked Aaron how he could do this to another person's marriage, his response made me sick. I thought I was helping her because she was unhappy. Tom wasn't meeting her emotional needs. I walked out of the coffee shop and threw up in the parking lot. Dorothy drove me back to her place where I'd been staying. I couldn't go back to the apartment knowing Aaron had been orchestrating the destruction of someone's marriage while playing the perfect boyfriend with me. Aaron keeps sending me long emails about how sorry he is. He says seeing Sophie's breakdown made him realize how toxic their relationship was and how much better what we have is. He claims he was young and confused back then, afraid of fully committing to either relationship. He says he's grown and changed, and he knows now that I'm the one he wants to spend his life with. I packed up most of my stuff from our apartment while he was at work. Dorothy and Rachel helped me. Max, our dog, whined the whole time, sensing something was wrong. Leaving him was one of the hardest parts. Aaron and I had adopted him together, but since Aaron works from home and can care for him better, we agreed he should keep him. I blocked Aaron on everything except email, which I need to keep open to sort out the lease and our shared bills. Sophie apparently checked herself into a mental health facility after our meeting, which I hope helps her heal. The worst part is, I still catch myself missing Aaron sometimes. Missing our life together, our routines, our inside jokes. Then I remember how easily he lied to my face for months, how he helped Sophie try to cheat on her husband, how he was planning to get back with his ex when he met me. The Aaron I loved never existed, he was just a character this man played while maintaining his real relationship with Sophie. I still have 6 months left on our lease. Aaron offered to move out, but I told him to stay. I can't bear to be in that apartment anymore knowing everything that happened. I'm looking for my own place now, somewhere I can start fresh. Update 3: It's been 3 months since I moved out, and I wanted to give everyone a final update on the situation. After my last post, things got worse before they got better. Aaron continued sending emails despite my requests to stop. He would write pages about how much he had changed, how therapy was helping him understand his codependency with Sophie, and how he wanted to prove he could be the man I deserved. The breaking point came when he showed up at my new office with flowers and our dog Max. He thought recreating our first date would somehow fix everything. I had to threaten to get a restraining order before he finally stopped trying to contact me. He sent one final email apologizing for everything and saying he would respect my wishes to be left alone. Sophie moved to Seattle after being released from the mental health facility. Tom told me she's living with her sister and supposedly working on herself. She sent me a long apology letter about how sorry she was for destroying my relationship. I didn't respond. Her words meant nothing to me after everything that happened. Surprisingly, Tom and I have maintained contact through all of this. We meet once a month for coffee to talk about our experiences. It's therapeutic having someone who understands exactly what it feels like to discover years of lies from someone you trusted completely. He started dating again recently, which gives me hope that I'll be ready someday too. The hardest part has been dealing with our shared friend group. Most of them took my side after learning the full story, but some think I overreacted. Aaron's sister reached out last week to tell me he's really changed and asked if I would consider talking to him. I blocked her number. His mother Linda, who I was once so close to, still sends me guilt-tripping messages about forgiveness and second chances. I miss Max terribly. Aaron sends me photos of him sometimes through Dorothy, who's still in contact with him. The photos always make me cry, but I know keeping him was the right decision. My apartment building doesn't allow pets anyway. The lease on our old apartment finally ended last month. Dorothy helped Aaron pack up my remaining things and drop them off at my new place. Seeing our shared belongings divided up into boxes made everything feel so final. I donated most of it to Goodwill. I wanted a completely fresh start. Last week, I heard through mutual friends that Aaron started dating someone new. A girl from his office who apparently looks a lot like Sophie. Part of me wants to warn her about what he's capable of, but I know that's not my responsibility. I just hope he's actually changed like he claims and won't put another person through what he put me through. I'm still not dating, but I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. I got a promotion at work, started taking boxing classes, and adopted a cat named Luna. My trust issues are worse than ever, but my therapist says that's normal and healing takes time. To everyone who told me I was overreacting in my original post, I get it. From the outside, it probably seemed like I was throwing away a great relationship over some innocent messages. But my gut was right. The lies, the secret meetings, the emotional affairs, they were just symptoms of a deeper problem. Aaron was capable of maintaining elaborate deceptions for months while looking me in the eyes and promising honesty. Sometimes I still miss the life we planned together, but then I remember that life was built on lies. I deserve someone who won't just tell me what I want to hear while secretly maintaining emotional affairs with their ex. I deserve real honesty, not carefully curated half-truths. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my life and learning to trust my instincts again. Thank you to everyone who supported me through this journey. Your comments and messages helped me stay strong when I was tempted to give him another chance.